How's it going, Coach? Ryan Koenigsberg.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Nice to meet you.
Doing all right.
That's good.
How you feeling about your team this season? Obviously, last year, you lost 2 tough games, very close to making it to the Pac-12 or winning the Pac-12. Really, how do you feel about this year's team?
Yeah, I mean, we return really the core nucleus. We lose a few interior offensive linemen, but I think we return really the core group of guys that helped us win a lot of football games last year. So we're excited and built on the momentum from a year ago, and the guys are working. They're not just expecting it to happen. They're going to go make it happen.
We just had your quarterback on a few minutes ago. Super, super awesome kid. What makes him special to you?
Well, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. Number one, just a great person. And I think, he's been through a lot over the course of his career with injuries and just the adversity that's come his way. He's a 6-year senior, so there's a lot of moments on the field, off the field that he's learned from. And, he just keeps getting better and better. He's in a really good place. Last year and this year, really 2 full years of training and building his body up. And, getting through a full season was a big deal last year. And, he threw for a zillion yards, but he just got a good head on his shoulders, real consistent, just day to day brings it and his teammates, I think they find that it's pretty easy to root for him just because he's got a humility side to him too, and he knows he can't do it all on his own.
Your receiving room, too, also very talented, very deep. Of course, Jalen and Rome being the headliners. Just having them with Michael Penix, it feels really like a perfect match. Is it hard to really even design an offense around them, or is it just the players are so good that they kind of take care of it themselves?
Yeah, I mean, our system needs everyone to be a threat. All 5 skills besides the quarterback, tight ends, running backs, receivers, all need to be guys that are threats to get down the field and make plays, whether it's out of the backfield or line up at receiver. But, the offensive system works to, I think, have that balance. But you certainly are making sure that, you got a priority of getting the ball and opportunities to Rome and Jalen in particular, both those guys, to where they get their touches. And the things that they can do with the ball in their hands are, really impressive, and they did a great job last year, and they're working even harder to have a better year this year.
Circling back to Michael, how important and how far can accuracy take you as an offense and take you as a quarterback?
Well, I mean, it's a big difference if even if you're throwing a 3-yard pass and you can't complete it, which seems really easy, but 2nd and 10 versus 2nd and 7, even if you get tackled right away, it's a big deal. So that efficiency, I think, is important, and that comes through being, number one, understanding your situation each down, and number 2, executing the play and being able to make that throw. And sometimes we take it for granted, but, Mike's a high-level guy, and, he does all those things very well consistently each and every play.
We're from Colorado. We cover the Buffs. Sav'ell Smalls now at Colorado. I guess, what does he need to do to actually hit, that ceiling or hit his potential that he was recruited at, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Sav'ell's a great football player, and a great kid, great person. He's not a kid anymore, so I shouldn't say it that way, but he's a great person. I think the world of Sav'ell. He was at a position that was just extremely competitive in our program. And so, I always wish nothing but the best. I mean, this time of college football comes and goes so quickly, and so going to wish nothing but the best for good people, and he's a good person. And, I think he's on track. Everyone always asks that question, like, what's he got to do more? Well, he's just got to find a place where maybe there isn't, first-team All-American or 2,
right,
lined up in front of him. And so, I think you'll be happy with what you got there with Sav'ell, and, we'll certainly follow him, and, we wish him the bbest.
Awesome.
Curious if you have any thoughts just on the way that Coach Prime in Colorado turned over that roster this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I think every coach, you're hired to do a job, and you do it to the best of your ability, and every situation is different. I came into one where, Washington, where I felt a lot of the roster was pretty strong, and just needed a little consistency there, and just, maybe a couple additions. And I think we brought in maybe 12 transfers, 10, 12 guys to fill in some spots, and that worked for us. But, every coach has got to do, and you're hired to do a job. And, in today's world of football, college athletics, I guess, in general, the demand to win soon is the clock's ticking the day you step on campus, and so everyone's got their way of doing it now with the rules and the way that you're able to do that. You gotta take advantage of it, and so trust that he's doing what's best for his football team.
You mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
Do you look back? How do you look at that in terms of the, if you will, instant gratification, when it comes to the short lease that coaches have these days? At Colorado, Bill McCartney struggled for years before he finally broke through and eventually got that team to win a national title. Is it a shame in your eyes that coaches are expected to win maybe in the first 2 years in today's day and age?
Yeah, I think it's all relative, too, and what that program is, right? Because there's some programs that actually win a lot, and they still aren't winning enough because a championship is what the expectation has been because of 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years ago with the depending on the program. So, it is what it is. It's just you got to evolve, and you got to understand that's the times we're in, and we get paid to do a job and come in and build our program. And you do have to have some urgency to it, and what that urgency is dependent, again, on the situation you come into.
Just going back to the edge players, with Braylon and Zion, those guys are obviously very, very talented. What does it do for your defense, having two bookends really on the edge?
Yeah, it kind of sets the tone, I think, for the rest of the defense, because those guys not only just do a good job against, getting pass rush, they're good against the run too, and anytime you get the pressure on the quarterback, and especially if you get into a situation where it's a passing down, the clock's ticking for the QB, and that makes your defensive backs look better, and it goes the other way too. Your defensive backs, if they're doing their job and you get that split second longer, and then cause some problems for the quarterback and make him, move out of his spot and things like that. It all works together, but we feel really good about that piece, in our program, and I'm excited to see those guys have a great year.
In my eyes, this is as strong as I've seen the Pac-12 top to bottom in a season. What sort of challenges does that present, just having, that type of challenge each week?
Yeah, I haven't obviously my second year in the Pac-12, but have been on the West Coast now for 6, and certainly have a good gauge, having played Pac-12 games even when I was at Fresno State. But I would agree. I don't know of it being ever better than what it is now, top to bottom. And, you got the high-end teams that certainly can compete, I think, for a championship. There's a number of them, many of them. And, it's a tribute to the conference, and it's going to be a fun season for all the fans, both in your own institution and just college football fans in general. So I'm glad to be a part of it. It means that there's a couple more maybe longer nights than you want it to be, but you're pouring everything into it anyway. So I don't know if that's necessarily the case. So it's just it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun year.
I got one more, then we'll let you go. If you could change one thing about college football, what would you change?
I guess, you go to the most recent things, you're probably expecting portal and things like that. I think there's a place for the portal, I think it's just tweaking things. I think there's definitely a place for NIL. I love NIL. I think it's important for our guys. So I'm not going to go there. I'd like to keep the number of being an offensive guy, and kind of hoping that we can run as many snaps as possible in a game this year. Probably going back to making sure that we don't stop the clock for every first down. Let's just keep it as recent as we possibly can. So, that's a small thing, but it will also impact some games and how quickly it goes, and the number of snaps we get each and every game. But it's going to evolve. That's just society in general. That's football. That's all athletics. And so you just continue to evolve with the times.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much for your time, and good luck.
You bet. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good luck this season.
Thank you.